Industry Insider is only available at Promo Corner, the leader in digital marketing for the promotional products industry. Each Monday, they discuss, dissect, and debate a single issue impacting the world of promotional marketing from every industry perspective. Now, it's time for Promo Corner's Industry Insider.
Welcome to another edition of the Industry Insider, your promotional products podcast where you can get all the nerdy news you need to know about. My name is Jeff Franklin, National Accounts Manager with Headwear USA, and I'm joined today by three other lovely folks. But before we do or get into that and introduce those awesome people that I'm joined by, we're going to talk today a little bit about Promo Show. So join Promo Show, hosted by Promo Corner, Tuesday, October 26th from 11 to 3 to attend the bestseller themed show. Distributors can register by clicking on the bestsellers banner at promoshow.com, and suppliers can reach out to sales@promoshow.com if you need help reserving a booth. There's going to be education, entertainment, giveaways throughout the day. So be sure to check it out on October 26th between 11 and 3 Eastern at promoshow.com, the entire industry virtually. Why don't we say hello to Stephen McFadden, clean shaved Stephen McFadden.
Hello. Did I get younger?
You
got younger. We all got older.
You know? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were just mentioning sort of how you can go into Promo Corner's webpage and check out all of the Industry Insider podcasts, and it shows the thumbnail for each one. And it's funny because you can just sort of scroll down and see yourself getting older. And Steven's all of a sudden going to jump all over the place. Yeah.
Well, you could do that with like your beard, like do a flip book of
it actually has
pictures of Jeff's beard.
My hairstyles.
You can see how long it takes to grow the beard. Actually, it's pretty nice that way. Meg Erber, Bangs, how are you?
I'm doing well. Yeah, I guess you could say the same with my hairstyles, from the blonde to the bangs, you know.
Correct.
Doing good. I just did Brian Young or Dunstan Group's podcast for Sleeping for Good, and that's going to air in a couple of weeks. That's super exciting. We're almost to the end of our event. We were almost to our goal last week. Chameleon Lake had that huge challenge and raised a bunch of money, but there's still time. So Sleeping for Good, let's do it. promocares.org/sleeping for good. Get out there, donate.
I thought for a second you said Chameleonaire made a donation. And I was like, I haven't heard of Chameleonaire in forever.
I mean, who knows? I've had a lot of coffee today, but
you know what the best thing about Brian is? He's a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, and he's in North Carolina. I'm surprised. That's usually like what, Panthers territory? I don't know anything about football.
Normally you would think so, but So anyhow, that other voice you heard, Jason Noakes, special guest, joined us a year ago, almost to the day, and we're excited to have you back today, sir. But as you know, it is customary for us to give our special guests a good 3 to 4 minute introduction of yourself in case people didn't hear the show last year. So why don't you tell us who Jason Noakes is, how you got started in the promotional products industry, and what the hell you've been up to since?
Sure. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on again. You're yearly October guest. So I've been in the industry my entire career. I have been supplier. I dabbled as a distributor, but most of the time I've been on the service provider side. So I was the first employee at Distributor Central, programmed a lot of the original first generation site and code. And then the last 8 years I was there, I was the president. And then in 2019, I left Distributor Central to start Promo Pulse. Promo Pulse takes all the content we can find in the industry from suppliers and service providers like Promo Corner. So your smiling faces are inside Promo Pulse, and we make it very easy for distributors to get ideas and inspiration information. We have an app. Everything's free for distributors to use, so they can download the app, follow suppliers that they're interested in. We have a daily email that goes out that's basically a recap of what happened the day before. We do have some of the large distributor groups use a web feed that has their preferred vendors information, and they embed that in their back end system for another product search or another way to get ideas for their clients. And so that's all good. And I had all that stuff last time I came. The pandemic, was tough for everybody, but it did yield new ideas, and everybody had time to think and come up with things. And so this year, from the pandemic, we're now branching out and getting content from suppliers through distributors into consumers, and getting small businesses, getting them ideas for all this great stuff that the suppliers produce. And so we launched a platform called AMP this year. And it takes, we use machine learning and pull out all the good content, and we package together, and distributors can pick the suppliers that they do business with, and they upload their list and set their frequency, and everything's completely automated, and it looks great. So, and then we're getting ready, probably maybe next month, to release a social solution too. So basically we're trying to help both sides, sell more promotional products.
Sure, that's awesome. And that's why we're having you on, is to talk sort of using automated marketing to sort of increase your reach and increase your sales. So really just want to talk about that. AMP, like you said, is something that you just launched again this year. Promo Corner does Promo Pulse. There's a lot of other great industry service providers that are doing a lot of great things that I don't think a lot of distributors really even consider or think about as an option to really help sort of grow your business, and in a sense duplicate yourself and your efforts without really doing any work. So it's pretty awesome. So I definitely want to talk AMP and what that program is like, and basically just how we can utilize automated marketing to sort of really duplicate our efforts and help increase our sales. So why don't we start with AMP?
Yeah, well, for AMP, AMP is specific for the promotional products industry, so it's perfect for it was designed for promotional products, and it's all based around content from promotional products. A lot of distributors already send out email blasts or newsletters, and they talk about their value add and the things that makes their business special. But the complexity and the amount of content and amount of suppliers, amount of products out there, makes it very difficult for a distributor to compile, consistently do email or do social for their customers with all these product ideas. And so it's kind of taking the lessons I've learned from my own small businesses and how hard it is to be consistent and always routinely send out email and social posts, and try to come up with something that's very easy for distributors, and then use all the great content suppliers already produce. So that's what AMP is. And it's not only AMP, it's like I use HubSpot for all my CRM, and you can automate and set up templates. And so there's a lot of things where you can, like you said, kind of clone yourself to make it look like you're getting all this stuff done, but it makes it very easy.
Yeah.
Jason, this is super important for the future of this industry. I mean, we all know, we've all sat through last 20 months of a pandemic. We all had to kind of stretch and reach and find different ways to reach our customers. Now that we're in this hybrid situation, I feel like it's almost more important. Tell the listeners what is the benefit of using this automated marketing platform? If it's not yours, then Promo Plus or one of the other ones, but what's the major benefit of using these right now moving forward?
Well, first and foremost, it's recommended, the rule of thumb you always hear is like companies should spend 5% of their gross revenues on marketing, 5 to 7, or wherever you get the statistic. But to have a successful business, you have to market. You have to keep the pipeline full. And I know, especially like right now, it's very difficult with all the inventory issues, and distributors are just so stressed out trying to find, and they're having to spend all this time on orders. But what's going to happen when all those orders are processed and you haven't spent any time, filling up the pipeline and making sure that there's something waiting for you after these orders are processed? And so I'm just trying with this product, trying to make it easy. Super easy so there's no excuse basically to not do marketing. It's a no-brainer. So
yeah, here's the thing. Our industry, having participated in LEAD with PPAI and some of that stuff, I've been able to sort of gather a lot of knowledge as far as our industry and the demographics and how everything's set up. We're 97% small business, and I would venture to say that a lot of those are just a 1 or 2 person sort of operation. So really duplicating your efforts is something that's extremely important. I like to call it, rowing both oars. If you're only rowing one oar, you're going to be going in a circle. You got to row both oars to be able to continue moving forward. And so that's basically, you've got to be able to capture the business that you currently have, but then you also have to be able to, constantly, try to focus on new business. And it's a really difficult thing to do when you're time poor. And so I think there's huge advantages to doing this kind of stuff. It's one of the things that we hit on at Headwear a lot too, is like spec samples and things like that. There's so many great benefits to folks out there. It's just, where do I find the time to get any of this stuff done? Because especially now, Meg, you hit it on the head. Like, people, we're in a hybrid situation. The inventory shortages and everything, like, it's taking 3 times as long to close an order as it used to, because you're constantly trying to find alternatives and different sources and things like that. So it's really important to be able to duplicate your efforts now more than ever.
So real quick, and I know, I think Steven has something to say, so I want to let him, but I have a question kind of, and it makes sense. So the app itself is pulling social media content, right, to put into a marketing blast. So what's great about this is that right now everybody is dealing with the same issues, inventory, right? So most suppliers aren't putting, hey, check out this wide range of glassware that's not in stock. That's probably not happening for the most part. So the good news is that suppliers like myself, Jeff, Peerless, whoever, they're putting stuff out there that's in stock, because we know it's in stock. We want to sell it. So these email blasts that you're putting out there, I would assume, because that would make sense, that all this content is pulling stuff that's in stock. So now you're giving your customer something that in stock options, there's solutions versus, hey guys, there's labor shortages, there's raw material shortages, there's X, Y, and Z. People are just so tired of hearing it. So you have like 2 solutions in one. So I think this is genius. It's really
it's not only in stock, it's on trend. It's
on trend, yeah.
Like from our group that we're in, Meg, the creators group. And so Jeff Snuggs, they're out there taking photos from the photo shoot, and he's like posting examples, and then the next day those posts are in their social feed, and then later that day it's out in consumers' mailboxes. And so it's from a photo shoot, then the next day it's in front of people that actually buy the product. So that's what makes it remarkable. And it's naturally in season, because that's what suppliers are posting, and then it's what you guys, distributors, need to think about, and what consumers need to place orders. So yeah, it's very cool. It's very fresh, never gets stale, because it's coming right off the top of what's being produced.
Yep. Steven, go.
Steven McFadden.
Yeah, I'm doing great, Jeff. How are you today? No, it's funny, because we're actually looking to put some more things within our company right now, to from the marketing side. And you mentioned briefly about kind of taking big picture here with the automation and social side. Social media retail seems to be a lot of like one-to-one, people going by for transactional type orders. And the approach in social media seems to be that you have to kind of shotgun your pitch. You can get a little bit specific with demographics and regions, but a lot of people still are used to this. I see a knife set that I want, then I see 30 other knife sets that I want, and you buy a knife set, right? It's not going in there to get big programs and contracts and bigger types of projects. So I'm just wondering how you see that automation being able to target, or does that come from the distributor side, using their tools to help target the specific people that generate qualified leads through social? Because that's really tough, I think.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Yeah, and it's a challenge. So what we're doing, because every distributor has a different set of suppliers, and then suppliers post content at different times, and then distributors post at different times. And for social, the content will be unique, but I think there's still, at least in our industry, because it is programs and it's ideas, and it's trying to get your customers. A lot of times they don't know what they want to do, right? They have they have an event coming up, they have a budget or whatever, and I just think the more ideas that you get in front of your customers, that helps them out, because then that gives them ideas to how to grow their business, and either for gifts or employees or whatever. And so initially it is, I wouldn't call it a shotgun approach, because everybody's unique, but it's taking what we have available, presenting it to customers. But I definitely, as at least for my platform grows, I see that as it scales up, then we're able to we're able to analyze what's going on all the way down to the consumer and start presenting them different ideas and things like that. So that's down the road. It's not doing it right now, so I want to say, but once we start getting more and more content, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. It's going to be able to help everybody's presentation be even more unique and personalized.
So do the distributors have the option to kind of pick and choose what they want to see, or is it just like it's everything? Every supplier that signed up for your campaign, is that what they're going to say?
Well, because they pick their suppliers. So they've approved, if they SNS is great. So they pull in SNS content, but we kind of set the bar pretty high of what we actually allow to go in these emails. And so, so we have, like I said, first we have an algorithm that pulls out stuff and puts it in a kind of a holding tank, and then we have human approve it and put it out. And so while they don't pick, and they don't really want to pick actually, because it just takes too much time, but because they've approved the suppliers and then we've set this level of expectation of what's going to be in there, what the end result is only things that look awesome. So I could foresee down the road where you can do more custom, a la carte type of things. But again, everybody's busy. It's difficult to. I think if we started out doing that, then like we would get nobody using it because it would be so much work and so much time. And so, yeah.
So I probably.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's all right. Go ahead, Meg.
Oh, I just was going to see if you were going to be exhibiting in Vegas. Are you doing anything with this to get out there to distributors?
I'm not exhibiting. It's still mostly me. So yeah, I want to be able to meet with people and walk around and do things like that. I'll be sporting SNS gear, so that's one way you can find me and see me. But yeah, so not exhibiting this year, but just the fact I'm still small, and with all the pandemic, everything was unknown, right? So it's like, okay, maybe we'll wait.
Being modest, he is not just small. I mean, this might just be you, but everybody knows who you are, I feel like. So
well, then I can just walk around. Everybody else.
There you go.
That's funny.
What were you gonna say, Jeff?
So I probably missed this when you were sort of going over sort of what the program all is, but since it is all social media posts, is this something that is then being posted on the distributor's social media for them, or is this an email blast that goes out to their clients?
Right now it's email, but we're working on the social piece of that too, and that should hopefully be out this year. And so so we take social, and it doesn't have to be all social. We pull stuff from anything that's kind of publicly available out there. And so but then it's reposted, resent out on the behalf of the distributor. So it's sent to their clients under the distributor, and then when social hits, it'll be posted to the distributor's pages as them, but it's using the awesome content from the suppliers.
Yeah.
So
Steven.
go ahead, Steven. Sorry, I did have a question, but go ahead.
How do you see tying in promo with automation? Like, do you see that there's a good marriage between follow-ups via like direct mailers? Like, is there kind of a good formula that you've seen with actually using promo to sell promo? So having that automation piece, but then also having a direct to consumer kind of mailer or something like that. Have you seen anything like that, Jason?
Yeah, definitely. That's it. That's actually on a roadmap, but nobody's requested that yet. So we kind of listen. We started with email because that was what we felt was the most underutilized and most difficult thing to pull off and make it look good. So it's easy to send an email, but making it look really nice with a lot of content, a lot of product centered content is difficult. So, but down the road, I definitely see, catalogs and direct mail and all these things that we can do, customize it and compile it and do different things. So the problem with direct mail is it gets expensive because of postage, right? And so it's sometimes hard for especially small businesses to swallow the cost of doing direct mail because the bulk of it is postage. So, but but I think that's definitely planned because it's just a natural extension to what we're doing. And, as you know, direct mail is still extremely popular, especially through the pandemic. It was, one of the few ways you could reach people sometimes. So, yeah. So I think it could be popular, but it's trying to focus on the digital stuff first, only because
sure.
it's a little more economical. But
crawl, walk, run, right? And that kind of actually segues right into what I was going to say. Like, why should the industry be focusing on connecting this way through the digital means, like for marketing? Why should we be doing it? What's like?
Well, it's not going away. I mean, that's what, and as we all age, there's all these other people coming in, right? And they're digital natives, and so that's all they want to do. They don't want mail. They haven't got mail, and they don't know all these things that we grew up with. Don't necessarily exist in their lives, and so it's from doing content posting to doing TikTok dances with coffee and promoting different things. So that's how everybody will have to reach. That's how companies are reaching the newer
Digital,
people in our industry. And so I would expect they expect us to have all this stuff. And sometimes I feel like our industry has been behind in a lot of areas, and so this is trying to speed it up.
No, I agree.
Technology has definitely been one of those things where we've been.
And I've been pushing, and we had Jeremy Picker on a couple weeks ago to talk about NFTs in the promo space and how there's just so much. I know Jeff and I have been like battling on this. It's the future. It really is the future. And if you can't adapt and evolve and maybe be the forefront instead of being the last people to adapt this, there's so many examples and ideas of how we can use this digital world in promo and attach so many different things to it. So I think you really are on the cusp, Jason, of some really big stuff. I think, everything that Promo Corner's been doing with all their digital marketing, their promo shows, I really feel like this is the future. I mean, even SNS had Activewear. We had this whole virtual experience this year, I don't even know what day it is. And it was incredible. And the feedback and how many customers we were able to touch in just one sitting. And it was so amazing. We're actually having another one in a few weeks on just new products. A lot of people, a lot of distributors, a lot of screen printers are either too busy to see us, or they don't want to see us, or they're just a one-man show at this point, and they're just like, just tell me what you have. And people are getting Zoom fatigue, so you have to get creative. You have to be a little bit original. So we're doing this whole virtual experience thing where we're bringing trends, we're making it fun and having contests and doing all this stuff with samples ahead of time, but it's all tying in because this is the future right now. For the foreseeable future, being digital, being online, being creative with it, which is what you're doing and Promo Corner is doing. So I don't know. I think it's just a really good opportunity to shine. And I think you're doing an amazing job with it as well.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Steven, anything else?
I'm good. No, I'm excited. I think it's definitely underutilized. And I think that's something that we mentioned a few times, but kind of testimonial here. Like we didn't do a whole lot of marketing. Like we did most everything we did based on referrals, and referrals were great, and we couldn't keep up. So it was a good problem to have. But now that things are starting to come back in some ways, and we want to continue to grow, we're looking at, all right, what are other real ways that we can engage, and that's something we're about to invest in as well through email marketing and social marketing. And it's definitely something we've had a lot of conversation about internally about like why do we want to do this? Like, what is our goal? And I think, to generate quality leads, is primary, but we can do that through how we look in social and the types of things we send out and how we look when we send those things out. So yeah, it's an exciting new world for us, and it's cool to see that there's a lot more options out there, especially with automation.
Yeah. Well, another thing to point out too is that we just had we had somebody that started using AMP, and her second campaign, she had a customers, one of her largest customers where her main contact left, I think prior to the pandemic. And then she has not been able to get a hold of them for over a year. And she sent out this AMP campaign, and she got a response from the person she's been trying to reach this whole time. And so she was just like completely beyond thrilled because it was like, finally, I got a hold of this company. So I think there's a lot of value your lost customers. It's not just trying to reach and give more ideas to the people that your current customers or the ones that order frequently. There's a lot of people out there that maybe ordered once and they kind of forgot, or they don't think about it, or it's just when you got to think in terms of your customers' lives and their businesses and how busy they are too, and they just they don't think about the little stuff, from whether pins at the front desk to apparel for their team, and that stuff's just sometimes forgotten. So that's where I think tools that are automated that can make it easy, just keep you kind of top of mind in front of your customers. And they might not even order what's in the email, right? But it may just make them think of you.
Conversation. Yeah.
Oh, I got an event coming up, I need to talk to Stephen. So
well, that's usually like the downside of automation. It's very robotic, but then that's the good side of social media. And I've been preaching this from all my days and being an outside salesman. The social media aspect of this industry has humanized us. It's helped us grow the relationship. Now it's not just my order taker, Meg, or Jeff. It's, hey, Jeff, he just posted this beautiful picture of his family. Like, I commented on it, and I would make fun of him, but I just took that moment and didn't make fun of him. So, I wasn't so cold and heartless towards him. I know, but I have a question for all three of you, which I think it's just proof. Because I already know my answer. Jeff and Stephen first. When you are researching a new client, do you go to Google first, or do you go to like a social media site first?
Researching a new client,
a new prospect, or a cold call or something along those lines.
If it's a person, it's on Facebook. If it's a company, it's on Google.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would agree.
I always use LinkedIn. I go to LinkedIn to see what people are about, and see if, especially somebody reached out to me. It's like, who is this? And
exactly.
do I have any common threads with this person? Other, somebody we both know, or we both have a similar interest, or I don't know, those type of things. So that helps a lot.
I also use the white pages.
Yeah.
And then I go to their house.
Knock on their door.
I'll see you. No, but we are all using social media to do our research. So, and it humanizes us. If I'm going into a new customer that I haven't been into before, I want to see what they're doing. I'm seeing if they bring their dog to work that day, if they have kids. It's all about, conversation starters as well. So you're using the good parts of social media to market to people who are already using it. So it's kind of a no-brainer. That's where I was going with that. But
I feel like marketing in general is just about staying in front of your clients with compelling information as often as possible to stay top of mind. The one thing that I will say, when I left the distributor side of the industry and came to the supplier side, I realized that as much as I thought I had 100% of my client's business, I had crumbs on the table. So every distributor out there thinks that you've got the lion's share or the majority of that client's business when it comes to promo. And I'm telling you, there's so much more business out there. And the reason that the business goes elsewhere instead of you is because there was somebody else that was top of mind for that product before you. So I think it's very important. Like emails, honestly, you have to be either really compelling or it's getting deleted. Like it's not gonna, it's junk spam. Like, people are just trying to get through their stuff. So the compelling thing about social media is that it's quick form. It's really fast. It's personal. It's usually not during business hours unless you're, Meg Gerber doing coffee TikToks or something. I'm kidding. No, I know that's off hours as well, but it's off hours and it's quick form. So you're able to get through it. You're able to observe. It's just quick jabs. So that you're staying top of mind for that kind of stuff, and you'd be surprised how much more business you can get that way when you're front of mind for somebody.
Yep, that's really good, Jeff. That was like
occasionally. All right, do you guys have any other questions for Jason or anything else to add as far as just automated marketing in general?
Jason, I don't have anything, but thank you for coming on the show again. I hope to see you next year too.
Next October.
Right. Book it.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
No,
anything
thanks,
else,
guys.
Jason, that you want to add as far as like stats or any cool, compelling arguments for?
Well, yeah, I will add some stats because I do like stats and data. So, no, one thing I found, so I'll read some of these things I found, but so for example, I was on a podcast with Roger Burnett, and he threw out a stat that says that they're now saying that a customer needs to be touched or marketed to 18 times in addition to sales calls. And so this was outside of sales calls, outside of somebody talking to them, but it's now like 18 times because they're getting so many things thrown at them. And so so I thought that was interesting. I found a study by Litmus, which Litmus is a company that helps marketers improve their engagement, make sure they stay out of the spam folders. But they said that for every dollar spent in email marketing, you get $36 in return. So that's super powerful. And that's an average across all the different, all the different industries that they found. So that's cool. A lot of times email's got a stigma, I think. They think, oh, we got email, like Jeff said, they're trying to get their email box, but another study I found says 60% of your customers, or I'm sorry, 61% say they enjoy getting those type of emails from you. So as they look to you as a business partner, and they're expecting you to give them ideas, right? And so the majority of them want it. And then this is really interesting. 40% said they want even more frequently than you send it out. So that was kind of mind blowing too, that they want even more emails sent at them. So anyway, so again, we started with email because I felt underutilized when I talked to distributors, and it was, even if they were doing email, they weren't talking about product very often. They were talking about all their other stuff that they do, but because it's so difficult to have fresh content, to have trending products, to know where to go to get the imagery, to do all this stuff, it was so difficult that they weren't doing it at all. So that's why we started email. And
the only thing that I would say to sort of contradict that, or that where that may, at least to me, not make sense, is that I feel like if I think 61% probably feel like they want that or enjoy that, because honestly, they think that's where they're getting a lot of their information, and they can maybe refer back to that. But I personally feel like if it was that high, that you would get a similar open rate in those kinds of emails when you're sending it. And I don't think in any of the statistics you would actually be seeing that.
No, not 60%. So like we're averaging about 25%, which is, I think, excellent.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
But yeah, no, I agree. I mean, these are stats that I found on, but that really, and the thing I get the question asked, like what information you provide back to me when the customers sign up, what stats. And we have stuff we send to them, but it really doesn't matter. I can throw every stat and every piece of data I can find back at distributors and suppliers, but what matters is if you're getting orders, you're getting results, or people conversations starting because they receive these emails. And so that's all that matters, really. So that's sometimes hard to quantify, but it's one of those things like the story I told with Shannon. She all of a sudden got response from this customer, and so she's happy for quite a while, right? She got quoting all these orders. So that's really the most important thing, and that's our goal is overall at Promo Pulse is to help sell promotional products. So, and if I can help distributors sell promotional products, then I help suppliers sell promotional products, and everybody benefits. And so that's what my focus is.
Yeah.
So.
And not all content is created equal. And I think it really comes down to the content. So if you're doing it well, then, it'll do well. So that's, makes perfect sense to me. You guys have any other questions then?
All good.
Some pretty good stats. I appreciate it. We love the nerdy news around here. So definitely love it. So, all right. Well, guys, if you did enjoy this podcast, it was brought to you by our good friends over at Promo Corner with the Promo Show. Join the Promo Show hosted by Promo Corner on Tuesday, October 26th from 11 to 3 Eastern to attend the bestseller themed show. Distributors can register by clicking on the bestsellers banner at promoshow.com, and suppliers can reach out to sales at promoshow.com if you need help reserving a booth. And there's going to be plenty of education and entertainment and giveaways throughout the day. So be sure to check it out. October 26th from 11 to 3 Eastern, promoshow.com, the entire industry virtually. Guys, really appreciate you being on. And, Jason, as always, man, really appreciate you coming in and
thank you
sharing the news, man. Really appreciate it. It's good stuff.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on.
All right, guys, take care. We'll see you next week. Yeah.
Take it easy.
All right. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Promo Corner's Industry Insider. For more great content from industry thought leaders, including podcasts, blogs, and videos, visit promocorner.com.